What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Flames back at it again. Another Bible reading video, man. Not feeling very well today. I need y'all to pray for me. I haven't been able to stomach much food. Um, it's not feeling too great, but I'm feeling very blessed. Yesterday I had like a 3 or 4 hour conversation with my friend who's like a new Muslim, him and his whole family. And he was like reading out different verses, like trying to contradict the Bible and the Holy Spirit made it so I was able to answer all the questions for him, and I was very, very happy about that. Um, yeah, I was very grateful for the Lord to, give me discernment and wisdom to be able to answer his questions, and I really hope that, he'll be able to, one day realize the truth because I can tell that he has a good heart inside him. Um, but yeah, without further ado, man, uh, 2 Samuel chapter 9 and 10. Let's go right to it. David's kindness and Mephibosheth. And David said, "Is there still anyone left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" Now there was a servant of the house of Saul whose name was Ziba, and they called him to David. The king said to him, "Are you Ziba?" And he said, "Oh, sorry." And he said, "I am." Um, or he said, "I am your servant." And the king said, "Is there not someone of the house of Saul, that I may show him the kindness of God to him?" Ziba said to the king, "There is a son of Jonathan. He is crippled in his feet." The king said to him, "Where is he?" And Ziba said to the king, "He is in the house of Machir the son of Ammiel and Lo-debar." Then King David sent and brought him from the house of Machir to the son of Ammiel at Lo-debar. And Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, son of Saul, came to David and fell on his face and paid homage. And David said, "Mephibosheth." And he answered, "Behold, I am your servant." And David said to him, "Do not fear, for I show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. And I will restore you all the land of Saul your father, and you shall eat at my table always." And he paid homage and said, "What is your servant that you shall show regard for a dead dog such as I?" And he's saying that because he's crippled, right? He doesn't have legs, and back then, like you're cooked if you're disabled like that. Like your life is pretty cooked. Like you're a lame. You're not really you're not really able to work. You're not really able to do anything. Now it's different because our society kind of revolves around technology, so you'd probably be all right. But then, no, that's not how it works. You're useless. So he said, "A dead dog such as I." And the king called Ziba, Saul's servant, and said to him, "All that belonged to Saul and to his house I have given to your master's grandson, and you and your sons and your servants shall till the land for him and bring in the produce, that your master's grandson may have bread to eat. But Mephibosheth, your master's grandson, shall always eat at my table." Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. And Ziba said to the king, "According to all that my lord the king commands my servant, so will your servant do." So Mephibosheth ate at David's table, like one of the king's sons. And Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah. And all who lived at Ziba's house became Mephibosheth's servants. So Mephibosheth lived in Jerusalem, for he ate always at the king's table. Now he was lame in both of his feet. So this was like unprecedented. Like even if you like were somewhat of royalty, like you're just neglected. And David showed him honor. And in honor of specifically Jonathan because of him and Jonathan's bond. David defeats Ammon in Syria. After this, the king of the Ammonites died, and Hanun his son reigned in his place. And David said, "I will deal loyally with Hanun the son of Nahash, as his father dealt loyally with me." So David sent by his servants to console him concerning his father. This is chapter 10 now, by the way. As of David defeats Ammon in Syria. Concerning his father. And David's servants came to the land of the Ammonites. But the princes of the Ammonites said to Hanun their lord, "Do you think, because David has sent comforters to you, that he is honoring your father? Has not David sent his servants to you to search the city and to spy it out and to overthrow it?" So they're like planting these ideas in his head that David's out to get him essentially, right? And I feel like that kind of happens, like especially like I'm not sure how old this guy is. He could very well be in his 30s and his 40s, but he's the son of the other king and is a new king. So these people are trying to manipulate him because it's a monarchy, right? He has all the power. Um, so Hanun took David's servants and shaved off half the beard of each and cut their garments in the middle at their hips and sent them away. When it was told David, he sent to meet them, and the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, "Remain at Jericho until your beards have grown and then return." When the Ammonites saw that they had become a stench to David, the Ammonites sent and hired the Syrians of Bethrob and the Syrians of Zobah, 20,000 foot soldiers, and the king of Maacah with 1,000 men, and the men of Tob 12,000 men. And when David heard of it, he sent Joab and the host of the mighty men. And the Ammonites came out and drew up in battle array at the entrance of the gate. And the Syrians of Zobah and Rehob and the men of Tob and Maacah were by themselves in the open country. When Joab saw the battle was set against them both in the front and the rear, he chose some of the best men of Israel and arrayed them against the Syrians. The rest of the men he put in charge of Abishai his brother, uh, and he arrayed them against the Ammonites. And he said, "If the Syrians are too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the Ammonites are too strong for you, then I will come and help you. Be of good courage, and let us be courageous for our people, for the cities of our God, and may the Lord do what seems good to him." So Joab and the people who were with him drew near to battle against the Syrians, and they fled before him. And when the Ammonites saw that the Syrians fled, they likewise fled before Abishai and entered the city. Then Joab returned from fighting against the Ammonites and came to Jerusalem. But when the Syrians saw that they had been defeated by Israel, they gathered themselves together. And Hadaezer sent and brought out the Syrians who were beyond the Ephraimites. They came to Halam, with Shobach, the commander of the army of Hadaezer, at their head. And when it was told David, he gathered all Israel together and crossed the Jordan and came to Halam. The Syrians arrayed themselves against David and fought with him. And the Syrians fled before Israel. And David killed of the Syrians the men of 700 chariots and 40,000 horsemen, and wounded Shobach, the commander of their army, so that he died there. And when all the kings who were servants of Hadaezer saw that they had been defeated by Israel, they made peace with Israel, and he became subject to them. So the Syrians were afraid to save the Ammonites anymore. So again, like I'm feeling like as long as David is ruler over Israel, things are going to go pretty well because God's going to honor his faithfulness and how he has acted this entire time when it has never been really fair to him, but he never really complained, you know? But yeah, man, that's the end of today's video. I really appreciate y'all for watching. Please pray for me as I'm feeling very sick and I'm still working, through it. So, please pray for my strength. I know it's, a lot of times I ask for stuff for myself and not other people, but I really do ask that y'all pray for me to feel better. Um, but yeah, I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all, and I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.